Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in for the first USI Tech Google Hangout of 2018. As always, I'm delighted to say after a little break that we've had, I've been away, John's not been away, but he'll tell you about that in a minute. Delighted to say that we're back together again doing another Hangout. John, how are you, mate?
Well, I'm very well, Lee. I've had a nice break over Christmas. Happy New Year to you and Happy New Year to everybody. It's been a little bit different to what I had planned. I'm meant to be driving down to Miami today, but unfortunately, my wife had a little accident a couple of weeks before Christmas, broke her leg, and the Florida, Miami, New York trip was scrapped. So I spent the whole Christmas in the wonderful UK. With the rain and wind. So a little bit different, but there you go. These things are sent to challenge us, and these things happen for a reason, so they tell me.
Well, I would feel a little bit more sorry for you than I'm probably going to, because I think your holidays, that means your holidays really from beginning of Christmas through to the end of 2018 have dropped from 23 to 22 now. So I'm sorry to hear that you had to endure that, but you know, these things do come to challenge us.
On top of it all, though, she's been ill as well. So I've literally been running the whole household, you know, running the kids everywhere and tidying up, doing the Christmas dinner. There's no.
I heard that you were cooking in the kitchen with nothing but an apron that said on the front of it, "Mr. Good Looking is cooking." Is that right?
That's right, and it had Bitcoin bum on the back. So
very good, very good. Well, we're delighted we're back. We've got a lot of people tuning in, so I guess we should not spend too much time talking about the banter. But welcome everybody. Wow, 2017. We're going to do a review shortly and just pick up on some of those points. But 2018 is probably going to be, certainly for me, and I'm sure for everybody in my team, likely to be the most extraordinary financial year of people's lives. We're going to take you back through some of the points of 2017 to do a quick review very shortly. Let me tell you what we're also going to do. We have some breaking news that John managed to get hold of this morning, which we're delighted to share with you. And we're going to do that really after, just before a full business presentation. So if people are not on the call yet, I'm just scanning monitors and things like that to make sure we're broadcasting on sales funnels and websites. But everything appears to be going well at the moment. We're going to touch on some of the breaking news. I think you're going to love what we have to share with you. We like to bring you this news first. John's managed to pick this up this morning. We're going to talk about, or I'm going to talk about briefly, sales funnels. So you need to stay tuned for that because there's some important information on that. John's going to talk to you about a couple of key things. The white paper based around TechCoin. We're going to talk about TechCoin training, official training, which John will pick up on. We've got the incentive and a bit of news on the new incentive in the Dominican Republic. We'll touch on that. We're going to talk about events. We're going to talk about all sorts of things. But most importantly, we will be doing a full business presentation as well. So for those of you that are here for the first time looking at this, and numbers are shooting up, 370, 380. It's great to have everybody back and tuned in. So, John, let's talk about 2017 briefly. Seems a long time ago.
It does, Lee. I mean, a phenomenal year for everybody that's been involved with USI. Obviously, USI kicked off in November with their FX product in 2016, but coming into 2017, things really got interesting when the BTC product got launched. It changed the whole company. We saw recruitment just fly up. You know, I think we've hit over, we're just shy of 100,000 in our team now. And in March, I can tell you, we had about 125 people. So you can see the growth. The company, I think, is somewhere around about 750,000. They're probably closer to 800,000. And that's an important figure for the TechCoin, which we'll touch on in a bit. But throughout the year, everybody's worked phenomenally hard. The corporate team are relentless in terms of getting these products to us and making sure we remain compliant. You know, we went into America. We had 2 legal opinions to make sure we could trade out there and trade compliantly. We did a mini UK tour. The guys were out in Asia several times. It just went absolutely bonkers. And then on the lead up to Christmas, we had an hour with Horst interview that I did with him. Very open guy. If you haven't watched it, I suggest you watch it. I think we've had over 16,000 views on that interview, and he talks about pretty much everything. And we touch on not just the business side of it, not just the products, not just the transparency. We even touch on the haters that we've got out there. Because it was interesting to hear his view on it, because he obviously comes from a more traditional background, taken 2 companies to IPO, as we know, very successful guy in his own right. Associate himself with anything other than something that is completely bona fide and here for the long term. So it's an interesting interview. And then of course we had the event back end of October, the launch of the Tech coin. You know, and the mining pools. You can see Ethereum being mined. We've got some news on when the Bitcoin mining pool is going to be showing. We're not far off that at all. Spoke to Mike, as you said, this morning, and you know, that's going to be showing on the blockchain very, very soon. I'm told they're almost ready with the mining pool on that. So exciting times. They're looking to become, by June, one of the top 10 miners in the world. That's a big, bold statement, but you wouldn't bet against these guys, Lee. Incredible.
No, that you wouldn't. I think the pace I think that's the thing that amazed me. I mean, 2 things really. I think for me as a takeout from 2017, which remind me to come back and ask you about where your interview is with Horst, because I thought it was an outstanding interview, very honest. You asked him some cracking questions, and as always, Horst, you know, just deals with those head on. I think it's important that everybody can get to see that, so maybe you'll point people in the right direction on your YouTube page. But the 2 things that really I think stood out for me, other than of course the obvious rise of the value of Bitcoin, which we'll touch on in the presentation, was firstly and predominantly the reinforcing of everything these guys say that they're going to do, they do. They tell you well in advance of what they're going to do. They give you an approximate timeline, and of course sometimes it takes longer, but they continue to deliver, and they are true to their word, which is outstanding. And I think secondly, I'm just absolutely amazed at what they have managed to get through within that short time frame. You know, I wind my account back to maybe the beginning of March in 2017, and when you look at where the company has come in such a short amount of time, it's staggering. That I know their team has grown, but they've had to recruit some very, very serious individuals into the company to ensure that the caliber of those individuals are going to take them to where they want to be prior to maybe the end of 2019. And I think the growth has been extraordinary, really. Yeah,
and again, that's testament of the board to be able to bring those type of people and attract those type of people to the company. You know, those people like Evan Ahern, for example, you know, they don't just go and get involved with any old company. You know, they do their own due diligence. They're very well respected in the business world. They don't make poor decisions, you know, or bad decisions. So, you know, it's testament to them. You know, they had a few issues, but they needed to upgrade the back office. There's some, you know, there's still some small issues, but they are getting through those, and they're working their way through that. And I'm not getting so many calls, thankfully, on it. And I think, you know, having this Christmas period where it has slowed down a little bit, where people have been off, has given them the chance to get some training done and catch up on some tickets. And I'm certainly getting queries answered a lot quicker. So a lot of things going on. Like I said, you know, coming into this year now, you know, you may actually, possibly tonight, I'm told that there may be an email that's going out about the promotions that are going to be starting on the token, the token promotions. What that basically means is there's going to be an education going out to go through all the points. We're going to touch on some of the points ourselves. We're not, we haven't really had an awful lot of time to look at it ourselves, but they're going to be sending out an education on points regarding the tech coin, the exchanger, the wallet, their own ecosystem, what it all means, the trading platform, and their own wallet. It looks sensational, and we're just filling in gaps at the moment, guys, so bear with us when we go through it, and the blockchain. And that education's going out so we can all basically sing off the same hymn sheet. And that's something that we've been very passionate about right from the off, to make sure everybody gets the right message.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's get into that. Let me just say, for people that are here, I mean, we've got over 500 people on here, John, at the moment. That's just on YouTube, let alone the other websites we're broadcasting on. So obviously a massive amount of interest for what's maybe we can share with people. As John's just mentioned, you have to bear with us. We got these slides probably about an hour and a half ago. We've taken a number of them out, but we just wanted to prematurely give you an understanding of what is about to come. And I think it will excite you. We haven't got all the answers. We hope to, I know John hoped to have a call this morning with Mike, but Mike is unreachable at the moment where he is as far as Wi-Fi signal is concerned, and maybe that call will happen on Friday. We'll have a further update this time next week. But let me drop in and share my screen with you. We'll pick up a slide and go through a couple of things, because I think what you're about to see on here should really give you some confidence if you've been sitting on the fence with TechCoin and maybe not quite sure what it was, whether you're going to get your package or not. I think this will give you some, I guess, some good transparency. So let's jump into that.
Just while you're getting that up, Lee, I mean, the other thing to note is, you know, a lot of people been waiting for the white paper. That white paper has actually been ready for the last sort of 2 weeks or so. But once that paper comes out, they can't change it. So they're going through it with a fine-tooth comb at the moment. It's about 20 pages long, I'm being told. It will potentially be out by the end of this week, but to manage expectations, let's say it's going to be early part of next week. But it is ready. It's been ready for, like I say, a couple of weeks now, but they need to make sure 110% everything's on there and everything's crystal clear. Okay.
Sounds great. So these slides, we'll go through them. It's going to be clunky, guys, because we haven't had time to really digest it and fully understand what every statement means. But as always, we wanted to share these with you. So this is very much about TechCoin. The company are really very, very focused. If we just take a backward step from that, you know, we talked about before being involved within an organization and a company ahead of an IPO, i.e. a company that's coming out of private ownership into public ownership, and sometimes employees get offered preferential shares. Well, that's what we've really got with TechCoin. You've got an opportunity of being able to buy your tokens that are going to be converted into coins at the magic $500 million mark, which we'll talk about more as we go through. So the company are very focused on building a complete ecosystem, which we'll go through here, around TechCoin. And as we said way back on the 28th of October, that there's going to be a lot of things that will be built around the TechCoin to underpin its value. So let's start going through these, and we'll read through the slides as they come up. As it says here as an overview, TechCoin is an inspired project of USI Tech that aims to shape the future of cryptocurrency. It consists of a revolutionary cryptocurrency and a complete ecosystem built around it, including a custom blockchain, an exchange, a secure wallet, marketplace, payment solution, and many other things.
That is just incredible in itself, Lee. You know, a complete ecosystem, and what does that actually mean to people? You know, because you're talking about things there, like obviously it needs the blockchain. We know that, we all know that, but we're talking about its own exchange, a secure wallet, and you know, a payment solution for financial services, including trading and exchange. I mean, that is, you know, that's competing with the very, very big boys out there, and that excites me. Just that slide, you know, yeah, incredible.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if you look at on the right, I mean, it says there, develop a unified blockchain platform with a complete ecosystem for the masses, which will eventually, and we'll give you some timelines here, become a one-stop solution for all financial services, including trading and exchange, payment solutions, and merchant solutions. That's retail solutions. So what you'll see as we start to roll these slides through is exactly, I think the dots will be joined for you as to what is about to happen behind TechCoin. These are the problems associated with the cryptocurrency space at the moment. There's limited scalability, slow performance. We know that the blockchain has been slowed down, especially when obviously you're going through the big volatile periods of high prices or low prices, people selling, people buying in significant numbers. It has slowed it down. We know Coinbase, for example, have had big problems due to the volume of people either getting in or trying to sell some of their crypto. Security concerns, limited availability, and limited market acceptance. These are all things that for many people are very obvious, but have been identified by USI Tech as to maybe the problems that exist at the moment. Now, this will give you a little bit more transparency on the ecosystem. You're going to hear that phrase an awful lot around TechCoin. But down the left-hand side, you can see that obviously we're talking about TechCoin. We've got the custom blockchain protocol, a block explorer, which I'm not going to go into too much detail, but we'll start to add some more to that probably next week. Cryptocurrency exchange, which we'll talk about a little more. The marketplace in general, payment solutions, cryptocurrency wallets, which we'll talk about in a moment. Cashless payment platform and debit card, which we're going to show you. And their own mining infrastructure, which has been obviously on the cards for a long time. We've taken a slide out of here relating to the data mining plants and the numbers of them, because we didn't want to get barraged by everybody as to where are they all at the moment. But let me tell you that there are going to be up to 5 data mining plants. That's breaking news in my opinion anyway. We'll have more as Mike brings us more, hopefully for next week, to give you some indications of maybe where, but they may choose not to reveal that information given what happened last time and everybody starting to point fingers way too early. But yeah, there's a lot of meat that we can add to this bone for you. And here's one of the things. Maybe you want to go through that slide, John, if you can see it.
Yeah, I mean, basically they're talking about having their own app. It simplifies the buy and sell and converts options inside their own wallet. Do you remember all those functions that you just gone through, Lee, as well? You know, most coins or altcoins haven't got anywhere near that functionality. You know, you're competing directly with Bitcoin with that sort of functionality, but obviously better speed with the blockchain, etc., etc. So you know, it's going to support almost any cryptocurrency and fiat currency. All right, so it's almost like having your own Zappo or Coinbase own wallet. That's what I'm reading into this. Available to download Windows, Mac, Android, etc. Seamless send and receive from other wallets in the marketplace. So you know, you've got all that functionality that you get with any other wallet. So you know, you can do that seamlessly, send from different wallets, including this, and an international, and everybody's going to love this debit card. Yeah, when you see the card, it's amazing. You know, international debit card linked to wallets issued free. Okay, that's actually going to be issued free, and we're going to touch on the other costs or non-costs, or there are going to be obviously transactional costs, but that in itself is going to be very competitive, and you know, it's a complete, like we say, I'll keep going on about it, it's a complete ecosystem. And over the next few weeks that coming up, as the education comes out and we know more and more about it, if it's what I think, you know, that means, it is going to be sensational.
Yeah, I think that what you're about to see with regards to the cards and the costs, etc., will give you a real indication. You've got to remember also what we're looking at here. All of this is going on behind the scenes. These guys announced this back in October. This was always the plan. I think what they can you still hear me, John? I'm just looking at my monitor.
Yeah, I can. I had a few people saying they couldn't see the slides, but they can now, so that's fine. No problem, mate.
It's just flashing on and off, so it went dark there for a moment, but I think I'm still with you. But you've got to understand that I don't think people quite knew what was going to be backing up and underpinning TechCoin, and people have gone into it. I wouldn't say blind. We know about the hydroelectric generator. We knew there was a lot more to come. This is now showing you really almost complete transparency on what is going to be behind TechCoin, and there's other technology to come. But as it says here, it's based on its own custom algorithm called Quantum Node. That in itself should give you some understanding of exactly how intricate this is going to be. I was talking to one of my team members yesterday about the number of transactions that can take place per minute with Bitcoin. Look at that, scalable. They're catering and gearing up for 10,000 plus transactions per second. That's going to put it in the realms of probably one of the fastest platforms available out there to deal with that scale of transactions.
And it's a very important point, Lee, because for Bitcoin, for any coin to reach its full potential, you need that scalability. As more and more people come into the crypto space, you need that scalability, and hence why we saw the fork back in, what was it, end of July. The main part around that is the transactional speed, and we saw over Christmas the blockchain getting blocked, etc., etc. So it's a very important point, that is.
It is, and you know, as always, as they've done with their website and gearing up for mass volume, they've done the same with regards to this. And you know, if you get into that realm, and that's really where Bitcoin, etc., has got to be. You've got to be in a position where you can complete those transactions inexpensively and quickly. We won't get bogged down with this, but I think the important thing for you to see on this particular slide is starting to get an understanding of complete transparency and visibility. If we just take the first line there, it says that this is your TechCoin exchange where you're going to get real-time margin and position views and a fully featured dashboard with quick access to key metrics. You're going to be able to get visibility on what's going on, current price, current volume, transaction, pools, etc., etc. And this is just very part of the bigger picture as far as transparency and reporting is concerned.
Well, it's complete transparency. I mean, again, you know, all that noise goes away. You know, we've got that's probably a good point to put out there now, is that I think we already mentioned it. You know, transparency is important when we're promoting the business. Of course, it is. We've already seen the Ethereum mining pools, and like I said earlier, we're almost, you know, days away. I think, or it sounds like we're almost days away from being able to show the mining pools on the Bitcoin as well.
Yeah, which is excellent. Well, you know, what everybody wants to be. I'm not sure it will satisfy everybody. It never seems to, but you know, the guys can't do a lot more once you've got that visibility and transparency on the pools. We've got Ethereum already, Bitcoin soon to follow. This is what I know is going to excite a lot of people, John. This is obviously an integral part of the platform. Let's talk about the platform down the left-hand side. You're going to have secure cashless payments for everyone. That's the card design for TechCoin. It's going to be free. You're not going to have to pay for the debit card, and it will enable you to start trading and transacting with both crypto and fiat currency. As I've said, there's not going to be an issuing charge, and there will be no annual fees for this card. So it will be requested, supplied to you, no charges, almost in line with the company's ethos, which is, you know, they don't charge a monthly subscription. There will be none for the card. I had to buy my BitPay card. I think it was $9.99. And of course, there are going to be transaction fees. There has to be, depending on what it is you're going to do and whether you're converting from fiat to crypto or crypto to crypto. But transaction fees will be kept as low as possible. 24/7 real-time transaction processing. There will be no minimum balances that you have to maintain on this card. It is a Visa card. You'll be able to use it in any ATM around the world and spend your money as you load it in any establishment that accepts Visas. And in addition, you'll see right at the bottom, there is going to be a reward point system that can be transferred into monetary value.
Who wants one of them?
Yes, please. So yeah, that's going to make a massive difference, and obviously that is a bigger part, or a smaller part of the bigger picture as far as the complete exchange is going to be very impressive.
Just another point on this, because people may be wondering how they put this together so quickly as well. We was at the Christmas do in London, and Mike stood up and did just a very high level view on some of these slides, you know, and they managed to piggyback this project, and again, testament to these guys, you know, because we'd be talking probably, you know, a lot longer process if they hadn't piggybacked and been able to persuade the designers, if you like, to go with USI. So again, great job from the corporate team. Otherwise, we'd be talking about, you know, this being delayed a lot longer than when you see that roadmap, which we're coming up to in a sec.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, people have got to understand, and I'm going to touch on this at the moment, which is always going to be a sore subject, but when they announced, you know, a data mining plant in Iceland and all this ridiculous nonsense that there was all over the internet about we'd seen that plant before and it was something to do with Genesis and so on. Guys, there were two options, as John's just mentioned. Due to the massive demand there was on mining equipment and so on, they either ordered new equipment and then put themselves at the back of the queue, 12 months time to get all that equipment in, or they went in and purchased and took over or structured partnerships with existing data mining plants. And as you see on this particular slide, we're not going to get drawn into locations simply because we don't know where they are. But as you can see, it's very clear that there's not just one, there are going to be 5 strategic locations. So hopefully that's going to put people's minds at rest. Those deals have been done. And that is obviously in order to deal with the demand and the growth of the company as we approach to 1 million people wanting to trade. So we'll move on from that slide. Well, we talk about blockchain. I don't think we need to dwell too much on why the blockchain. I think everybody is aware, because they're here, that very, very clearly the blockchain technology that sits behind cryptocurrency is obviously being endorsed by countries and governments worldwide because of its security implications, the high level of security that is there. And of course, it's something, and realistically, it's where the technology is moving forward through 2018, 2019, and that in itself as a blockchain is what is supporting the extraordinary rise in value of Bitcoin itself and many of the other cryptocurrencies. So clearly it's been identified as the route to go down.
Well, it's the ethical route to go down as well, because it's complete transparency. It can't be duplicated, you know, it can't be manipulated. You know, and I think, you know, the average man in the street, all they want is transparency with the banking system. And we haven't had that, let's be honest. We haven't had that for many years. But with this technology coming forward, it gives that transparency, which will ultimately give it its value. And you know, it's exciting times, because like we say, we're always saying this, we're at the dawn of a new digital age, and we're right in at the beginning. So very exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting, and there's a lot, you know, a lot of companies out there. There's news over here, which I don't know whether it's reached you guys. I'm sure it has over the Christmas period, about eBay about to get ready to move in. And you know, this year, I think you're going to see 2018 some staggering changes. It's going to be very much mainstream. Some big online retailers going to be moving into, and banks also. We have a good understanding over here that some of the major banks are ready to make their move. I think you're going to see the cryptocurrency platform and arena change dramatically as we move through 2018 to being very much part of the norm. The banks have got to compete or they're going to lose. So they have no option but to get involved. So a lot of things happening. John, why don't you take us through this roadmap that is obviously very much, let me say, tongue-in-cheek, because things change, things take longer, things can be done quicker. but this will give you an idea of how focused we said about the guys being laser-like focused to get through to 2019 for maybe a flotation. But this will give you an idea of maybe, or John can give you an idea of what is lined up for us through this year.
Yeah, so I mean, I sort of alluded to it just a minute ago in the terms that this project really got going Q1 2016. Now, you think about it, USI didn't actually form until, when was it? I think it was June 2016, and then obviously went into a pre-launch. What was it, September, October 16, and then launched with the FX product in November. And then the BTC package came along sort of pretty much end of Q1 2017. So you can see even before USI managed to piggyback this project or take over this product, as we said, I'm not going to dwell on the intricacies. I don't know the intricacy, how they done it. But all I know is they very much came in and persuaded the company to go with them. That it had already been a year and a year and a half probably before they managed to get these guys on board. So you can see there's a lot of work that's already been done in terms of technology research, the concept idea, and then coming into sort of Q1 2017, the formation of the blockchain development, but more where we've come in now, really. Like I say, I don't know exact dates in terms of when USI managed to persuade their partner in this to come across to them. Like I say, testament to them. But coming into Q1 2018, the TechCoin wallet launch, Q1, and then you got the trading exchange going live, which is going to be listed on the public exchanges. And I'm told it's going to be listed on all the major public exchanges. And again, Q2 is going to depend on how many token sales we've made, because they're going to they've said they're going to go on the public exchange when they hit what is it, 500 million. We're currently at about, I think we're about 140 something million when I last looked. Yes. Yeah, and that's in what, just over 2 months. So they may, these are movable. It all depends how quickly that we get those sales through, but they're pretty much on target to do that. And remember, another big thing which we didn't touch on is by the time they look to go fully deployed on the blockchain, which is the end of this year. How many members do you think are going to be in USI at that point? 1.5 million, maybe. 1.5 million is bigger than some countries and with their own currencies. So you imagine the transactional power and the liquidity that's going to bring into the coin, and that's internal. We've got a whole community that are going to be using TechCoin already, Lee, without it going on the public exchange. So again, I don't want to sort of talk about potential prices, because people say, well, do you think it's going to be worth, etc., etc. All I'm saying is look at all the key indicators out there, and what this coin's going to bring. I've got an idea in my own mind. I'm not going to share it, but I think if you're not in TechCoin at the moment, then you need to get involved. That's all I would say.
Yeah, I think that very clearly the guys have got a roadmap, as it says here, as to where they want to be. If we can get the sales through to half a billion by the end of Q2, then it's going to be listed publicly. So that's at that point. If you're not sure what that means, it means that your tokens will then be exchanged for coins. The coins will have a value determined by the public exchanges, and it will be mainstream listing. It's at that point then that obviously you'll be in a position, if you wish to realize some of the appreciation that you've got, because effectively I keep likening it back to preferential share options. That's very much what it is. So rather than getting those share options, it's been given to us in the form of tokens. at this initial stage before it's taken public. So if you've not yet purchased your packages, we're going to go through the slides in a moment, because I think there's a little bit of confusion over what is happening with regards to the roll-up bonuses on TechCoin. We're going to take you through that. I'll move off the slide now. But obviously the bonuses are very relevant. We've had the first one, which you see on the right. We'll come back to some more slides in a second. But just to refresh your memory, there are going to be 1 billion tokens overall, 500 million of which are reserved specifically for USI Tech members. You see my screen okay, John, because I've got a black on one of the monitors. Now we're back with you. So that's all good. Obviously, the 500 million or $500 million mark is the public tipping point when they're going to go to the exchange. Current price of the tokens, which are there. And obviously, it's at that point, as I said, for fear of repeating myself, that when we hit that $500 million mark, then we can start to realize the true value as the tokens are exchanged for coins. So let's roll straight in. I'm going to read you this disclaimer. We haven't done this for a while. We are going to rattle through this, but it's very important. We've got a lot of people here for the first time. I want to read this through. Obviously, proof of payment is no way a guarantee that you're going to earn the same, but it would be possible to earn this and more with equal or greater strategy and work ethic. Any earning figures we're about to show you are not a guarantee of income, and the figures are presented for illustration purposes only. So who are USI Tech? Well, as John said, they are a technology company that specialized for many years in the development of automated trading software. They've generated well over 100 different versions of these robots or expert advisors. The team's made up of Ralph Gold, Horst Schitcher, and Mike Kiefer. Ralph really heads up the trading strategies. Horst Schitcher tends to be the brainchild behind the direction, having floated 2 companies for many millions, and intends to retire in 2019. We do always dwell on that because I think it's important for you guys out there to understand that there is a real focus on getting the company to a certain position by the end of 2019. It could be ahead of that. We don't control things. But that is Horst's vision for the team, and to get the company floated publicly before he retires. So we are very fortunate to be riding in his coattails. Mike Kiefer works with John very closely and is obviously trying desperately hard to ensure that we roll into many, many new territories around the world. And I know, I'm not sure where he is at the moment, John, but you may have a better idea than I do.
Up a mountain somewhere, I think. Up a
mountain. Sounds like Heidi. Evan Ahern, if you need to Google him, very, very impressive individual. Evan has spent 15 years raising billions of dollars in capital markets. He owns over 50, or has owned over 50 corporations himself, a multi-billionaire. And as John mentioned earlier on, why would somebody like Evan Ahern decide to partner with USI Tech and bring what he's done? He works with his expert teams of investors, scientists, and engineers on a day-by-day basis, really focused on new technologies, the likes of which we've just talked about with regards to TechCoin, money exchanges, platforms, and so on. We are going to roll through this fairly quickly today because the important thing is for everybody to get a general overview, but we've talked about online banking. We haven't talked about ATM distribution, which will come back, but one of Evan's babies is the hydroelectric generator. And you'll see that we only showed you a few of the slides that have been released, the new slides for TechCoin. But one of the key other slides that were in there this morning that we looked very closely at was about green energy. And that's largely driven by this patented device, which is going to reduce USI Tech's cost significantly by 80 or 90% as far as the mining cost from their data plants, because this particular device that's been bought in by Evan and his team will enable them to do exactly that. So how big is USI Tech? Well, in a very short period of time, you've got to remember they only started in March 2017. They've got 1% of the global Bitcoin mining, 2.5% of Ethereum mining, and they are investing many, many millions, and that increases month in, month out into hardware. And the slides that we showed you a short while ago will show you to what scale that's been done. There is up to 5 data mining plants that will be up and running and established to deal with the growth of the company. As far as ATM distribution is concerned, Well, they intend to be a very large player. We'll come back to this further down the line, but this is one of the many things that will be supporting TechCoin. It's believed that there are over 3 million cash ATMs worldwide, and the intention really is for USI now to roll out and enable the likes of you and I to lease these machines and put them in high footfall areas where not only will people be able to transact using those new cards and using the exchange and the trading platform that we've talked about already, but you will also be in a position to join USI Tech as a business from these machines, as Ralph indicates on the right-hand side. As far as transparency, well, we've already talked about that. We're very, very close, as John's mentioned, to the Bitcoin pools and being able to see those on the blockchain. We already have the Ethereum. And I think certainly once that happens, then any doubters that may be out there as to what is going on will long since be way, way behind us. And I cannot wait for that to happen. As far as member support is concerned, well, I'm not going to get bogged down on that. What I can tell you is that support, as John's mentioned already, has really been able to catch up over the Christmas period. Ticket times have been reduced, and you should now start to see things being turned around in 48 to 72-hour window, day in, day out. Let's talk about the products. I'm going to touch on this and then pass it back to John briefly, but there are 3 products that you're going to be able to buy. Of course, we're all very familiar with the Bitcoin packages. You can buy those as many as you wish, 1 or 10,000 for around $60. The pinned price is €50 plus a mining fee. There will be coming very shortly, and we hope to have some more news on this next week. The Forex trading packages likewise will be the same price, but rather than having to go in and establish your own broker account, put in trading equity, be connected to a virtual private network or server, you'll be able to simply go into your back office, buy your Forex trading package in the same way that you can buy your Bitcoin package, and the company will generate similar results for you. And of course, the third one is TechCoin, which we'll come back to as we go through the slides. John, I'll pass you over to the Bitcoin package.
Yeah, so I mean, like they said, if you're here for the first time and just looking, the Bitcoin product is the product that captured the imagination back in March of last year, and has seen phenomenal growth. And this is a way to make your Bitcoin. You can of course hold Bitcoin. We would recommend that you do. But if you hold 1 Bitcoin for 12 months, at the end of the year, you still got 1 Bitcoin. If you give it to USI, they will make more Bitcoin with your Bitcoin. So how do they do that? Well, you haven't got to buy a whole Bitcoin. You can come in and you can purchase, as Lee said, 1 BTC package, which is equivalent to €50. You'll receive 1% per working day for roughly 140 days with a return on capital of 140%. Now that 1%, let me just tell you, because it's very important that we get a clear message out there for everybody, that 1% is a return of your capital. So the money that you've put in already, they're giving back to you, plus an element of profit on the activities that they're using your Bitcoin for, which is arbitrage, mining, trading against fiat, trading against other cryptos. Okay, so be very, very clear on that point. The 1% isn't just pure profit, return of capital, and the profit they're making on the activities they're doing using your Bitcoin.
I think one thing to mention on there, John, which some people are overlooking at the moment, is you're also getting, for every Bitcoin package you buy, you're getting a free TechCoin token, which will convert to a TechCoin when it goes public. So just bear in mind, the more packages that you buy and compound, the more tokens you get as well.
Absolutely, yeah. But how could I forget that? Okay, on the Forex package, equivalent to €50 again. This is basically so you haven't got to have your own VPS, your own MetaTrader 4. It's more of a pool investment using the Forex market, and you'll receive 1% per working day for roughly 140 days with a return on capital again of 140%. So they're looking to achieve that again. 1% of is made up of the return of your capital and the returns that they're getting through the Forex market. Okay, so it works out just under about 6% per month using artificial intelligence and their trading robots. And then the Tech coin, which is the third product, we've touched on it today. The Tech coin packages form part of the ICO. Once it goes live, those tokens will be minted into coins. Depending on what level you come in at, there's a commission side of it as well that you can earn. With the BTC package side, I forgot to mention that the maximum you can draw out on the BTC side is 2.5 Bitcoin per day. I think most people will be happy with that, Lee. The commission that you generate through TechCoin is completely separate, as is the FX. When the FX comes back on stream, they are completely separate. All right, so you can earn additional commission through the sales on TechCoin and obviously on your FX trading.
Ideal. We'll come back to this slide, John, because we're going to pick up the thresholds, which I want to run through with everybody. I'll put a new slide together for that. Let me just jump back in here. I mean, today's price on Bitcoin, one thing we can talk about is the volatility. We know that Bitcoin goes up and down. It does amuse me, and it's not that I'm privy to any inside information, but people do seem to panic when they see that Bitcoin price is suddenly dropping, and I know that's what created a big problem for Coinbase. People, lots and lots of people selling their Bitcoin. Why on earth would you do that? You know, every time things change, this is a volatile currency. It's going to go up and down constantly until we get maybe some stability and regulation in place. But you do not want to be, in my humble opinion, bailing out every time the price starts to fall. I mean, we saw it drop down to maybe $12,000, and look at where it's back again today. We're back at 15,000.
Do you know what, Leon? I mean, I had so many calls over Christmas because the liquidity comes out of most markets I can think of over that festive period.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of liquidity. Just, you know, it was crazy the amount of calls I got. You know, boom and bust, and you know, is this the end? Is it going to? Oh my goodness me! But anyway, carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I got the same thing. And, you know, I can't believe that Bitcoin would ever fall so low. People, you've got to look at where it was. It was this time last year, 12th of January, not even a year ago. It was $798. And today we're looking at nearly $15,000. Is there anything else that comes close to that? I don't think there is. I'd be surprised even in stocks that anything as far as growth is concerned gets anywhere near that. As far as what we've got to look forward to, well, I've touched on, I think you're going to see some major names added to this. We've got the Securities and Exchange Commission because of the futures trading now that is in place, certainly over here in the States. The SEC are getting drawn in closer, and I think I would be very surprised. I, again, don't know, but I'd be very surprised if they're not having a much greater involvement by the time we get to the end of this year than they currently do at the moment with regards to cryptocurrency. We know the likes of Amazon and eBay are right at the tipping point. There's a lot of discussions, and I think we have a big company over here called Target. There's rumors that Amazon may be buying Target here. And I think you'll start to see, as these main retailers, online retailers, fall into the crypto world, everybody is going to follow suit. That in itself, what's it going to do to the price? Well, in my opinion, again, I think you're going to start to see this 15, 16,000 be left a long way behind. My predictions, for what it's worth, I can see it going through 40, 50,000 through 2018. I could be hopelessly wrong. It could be 100,000. It could be 25,000. I don't think the experts can get it right, but I think what you will find as it starts to get traction, the online retailers come on board this year, possibly the Securities and Exchange Commission come in and regulate. It can only do one thing, and that is give everybody, people confidence that it is mainstream. If the transaction speed increases and so on, which I expect that to happen as well, then I think you're going to see Bitcoin reaching new heights that we haven't seen before. Older slide. Obviously, this just gives you an idea that if you're worried about missing out, and I won't dwell too much on this because of timing, it still makes a very small part. I think it's moved on into 80 billion now, but you'll see that
253 billion is the market cap as of right about
how much,
an hour ago. 253 billion.
253 billion. Well, that just shows what's
that. August 2017. This slide, wasn't it? Look at that.
It is. Yeah. So from 866 to 253 billion since just over middle of the year. That is such that the numbers of people that have decided to now take a close look at Bitcoin, it's quite staggering, really. I'm not going to dwell on Warren Buffett. We've talked about him several times, but these are sort of people that are wholeheartedly involved now in cryptocurrency, not just Bitcoin, but certainly, as we've said from day one, the leaders in these industries. There's normally 2, possibly 3 main players that come out at the end of it. We see it in all sorts of industry, and you can talk about TV, you can talk about anything, but as far as the leading edge is concerned, once you've got traction like Bitcoin has behind it, it's very, very difficult to stop. So how do you make money? John, why don't you take people through how they make money?
Let's have a look. There's several ways you can make money, and remember, again, the guys, any product that they come out with, it's standalone. It's what I mean by that. It's good enough where if you don't want to introduce anybody, but when we go through the compensation plan, you probably will, or I get a lot of people come in, I'm not going to introduce it, and within sort of like a week or so, they're bringing everybody to get involved. But currently, you can take daily returns of capital. Okay, so you get a daily payment of the return of capital, so the money that you put in, you get a return back. On top of that, you get daily withdrawals and returns and commissions if you introduce people into it. All right, commissions and returns can be immediately used to purchase new BTC packages. So within the back office of USI, you can actually set your rebuy at 100%, so you can compound. Different people have different strategies, Lee, on this. I mean, we look to, when we're taking newbies through, we tend to sort of say, look, compound for at least, 4 months or so, and then, look to take something out and take something back. But it's entirely up to you what you do, but you can actually take from day one. So, you can take from day one, but what we would recommend is you compound for at least 4 or 5 months, because this results in the highly profitable compounding effect. So if we've got some examples, are we? No, let's go through this. So if you purchase 20 BTC packages, that will cost you €1,000, equivalent of €1,000. The runtime is 140 working days. Return of capital after 140 working days would be €1,400. So that would be your return of capital, which is the 1,000 you put in, and €400 profit. Now that's €400 profit on the assumption that Bitcoin doesn't move up in value or down in value. Okay, so this is without any increase in Bitcoin value. The compound effect, though, and I haven't seen this slide, so I'm going to
hand it back to me.
I haven't seen this one.
That's fine. This is just a new back office now. So what we've done is taken that previous slide, an example. So you see at the top, there's 20 Bitcoin packages. We've set and assumed that the return of capital per working day is at 1%. Of course, it varies. And this is assuming that you set the account, as John's mentioned, automatically to rebuy 100%. So as your account is making money, the minute there's enough money, you'll see working days are down the left. You start with your 20 packages for €1,000 or around $1,160. And by the time you get to day 5, you've got enough profit and return of capital to purchase another package. So you'll see on day 5 that your packages have gone from 20 to 21. So let's fast forward that ahead 1 year. You can do this in the back office calculator that you have. So 260 working days is approximately 1 year. And you'll see there that as I'm reaching for a calculator, by the time you've moved forward 1 year, you've actually moved your packages from 20 to start with. You'll see on the right-hand side, you've had 64 that have actually reached their full payout, their 140%. So those have expired. You currently have active packages of 120 packages. So from your 20, you had 64 that are completed. You've got 120 that are still live, and they're paying you 0.0092 Bitcoin every single day from those 120 packages. And at today's rate, and we'll put that as approximately 15,000, that's actually paying you $138 per day. And if there are 21 working days in a month, that's nearly $3,000 a month. And remember, you started with about $1,160. Now, that, of course, is assuming that you've not pulled any money out and you've compounded your account for the best part of a year. Let's move the numbers up. Let's take them from 20 packages. Let's say you start with 200 Bitcoin packages for 10,000 euros or $11,600. Same numbers, but scaled up by the factor of 10. Instead of having 200 packages a year down the line, you'd have 1,231 active packages. 652 on the right-hand side will have already completed and paid out and allowed you to compound and buy more packages. But most importantly, here's the big thing you need to look at. Those 1,231 packages will be paying you out 0.095 Bitcoin per day. At $15,000 today's rate, that's $1,425 a day. 21 working days in a month, that's nearly $30,000 per month, and you started at 10,000. Now, the big thing here, John, is really this is a forecast looking ahead 12 months, and we are taking today's Bitcoin exchange rate. Where do you think Bitcoin will be?
Yeah, I was going to say, where do you? I mean, you're talking about Bitcoin being worth what? A lot of the experts actually that I've been speaking to were predicting between sort of $35,000 and $50,000. So if you took it somewhere in the middle, Lee, you got your calculator there. Let's say it's going to be $43,000. What does that effect have on those figures? Well,
if we put 43,000 because we're looking ahead a year, that's actually going to pay you $4,085 US dollars per day. 21 working days in a month, that's $86,000 per month, and you started with $11,600. Now, again, assuming steady growth and assuming you've not withdrawn any money.
And let me tell you, Lee, that this is why this company, up until Christmas, I think, had made 25 millionaires since March. You know, I dare say they're making at least 2 or 3 a month going forward. But, you know, that's incredible. And people say to me, well, it sounds too good to be true. But this is history. Lee's already showed you the figures that where Bitcoin was a year ago. At what was it, $800, $900, somewhere around there, $700, I think it was, $757. You know, this is actually happening, and like I say, it's not us saying or predicting those figures. Far cleverer people in this space are predicting those figures of Bitcoin being around that sort of level. So you know, they're very achievable figures.
And I think the important thing to understand here, if you've missed the link, is that you're buying packages, you're buying them at around $60, 50 euros plus a mining fee. You're being paid out in Bitcoin. These numbers underlined in red down the first return of capital blue column, that is Bitcoin. We get paid in Bitcoin. And as Bitcoin appreciates in value, goes up, it goes down, but we believe it's going to continue to grow and go up for many, many different reasons. Then, of course, you're being paid out at the price effectively you bought at. So in a year's time, if Bitcoin, as John's just said, is up beyond 40,000, then you've got 0.095 Bitcoin per day being paid from your packages in front of you. Whatever the value happens to be at that time is what you're making. And that's the amazing thing. And here's one more example. You know, if you had 2,000 Bitcoin packages, you put 100,000 euros or $116,000, you're making nearly 1 Bitcoin a day. If it was at $43,000 per Bitcoin, you're talking about $43,000 a day, 21 working days in a month. That's nearly $1 million a month. $1 million a month if Bitcoin in a year's time is at 43,000 and you started or you got yourself to 2,000 Bitcoin packages. And let me tell you, it's not that difficult to do.
Just unbelievable, those figures. And you know, people, like I say, people come up to me all the time and we talk about where Bitcoin's price has been and look at what the value is. And like I say, this is why it's incredibly exciting. Whether you introduce people or you don't introduce people, there is a life-changing opportunity for everybody. And you know, almost daily now I get emails from people saying, thank you, you've helped me change my life, my family's life, and all the rest of it. And you know, it's because of USI giving us this platform. It's just incredible.
We're incredibly fortunate, John, and people that are looking at this for the first time. This isn't about money games. This isn't about get rich quick schemes. This is real trading in a currency. We happen to be, I wouldn't say in the birth of the currency. It's been around since 2009. But as far as the momentum is concerned, I don't think anybody in their lifetime ever has been in a position to be part of what is going on at the moment. And you need to understand that you need to get in, you need to get some Bitcoin, give it to USI, let them create more Bitcoin for you, and ride the train as the price goes up. As I say on here, everything you've seen so far is completely passive. You haven't had to share it with anybody, but of course, there is a great compensation plan. I'm going to skip through this very briefly because I want to get to a couple of other points. But what you can get very simply is that the company don't even need to put money in your account, though I'd recommend you do so. The company will pay you 10% for any direct referrals, not only of what those people buy initially, but for the life of their account. So as their account compounds, if they put it on 100% compound, then it's automatically buying more packages. And every time their account buys packages, you receive a 10% commission. And that runs down 12 levels. You need to qualify and open up the other levels. You need effectively one direct referral for each level. And then you are qualified to be paid on those commissions from all 12 levels below you. I'm not going to dwell on that because there's some other key points we need to get through. But if you're unsure, please, if you're here for the first time, before you click on the button maybe below you to get started, stay with us, but talk to the very person that invited you here and get them to explain or watch other videos that we've got on around us, either on the sales funnels, YouTube pages, or in your back office to explain the commissions. We're going to touch on TechCoin because I want to just talk and get John to clarify for you. One of the very important questions that's come up are about these structures and these bonuses, John. I've updated this slide. Maybe you just take everybody through what is happening with regards to the double up bonuses.
Yeah, there was a huge amount of confusion as we hit that first bonus because, a lot of people, people that can't afford, say, the diamond package, for example, which is the €50,000 package. The people that were coming in or couldn't get in quick enough on the gold package thought that they had missed their bonus double up. Okay, but very cleverly, the company, what they've done is, as you hit those bonuses, the bonuses get taken off from the higher packages. What I mean by that is your gold package, which would cost €2,500, you'd come in, you'd get 5,000 tokens, and when the first bonus is hit, they would double up those bonus tokens from 5,000 to 10,000. Now, when we hit the first bonus, like I say, the bonus, instead of getting 4 bonuses on the diamond package, you'll see from the screen, that goes down to 3 bonuses. So originally with the diamond package, you could go from the 3rd bonus to the 4th bonus and double up those 800,000 tokens to 1.6 million tokens. So now, so if you bought a diamond package before we hit the first bonus, the maximum you would get is 1.6 million tokens. Now that bonus has been hit, it's been taken away from the diamond. So the maximum you can get is 800,000. But for the masses, for the people that can afford, say, the gold package, you're unaffected. You can come in now and you can still double up. Okay, you can come in, and then when it hits the next bonus section, which is 250 million, yeah, you will get doubled up from 5,000 tokens to 10,000, and then quite simply, you go back to the diamond package. That 3rd bonus will disappear. So if you buy a diamond, then you're going to achieve a maximum of 400,000 as those bonuses get hit. Is that clear?
Crystal clear. Absolutely great explanation. So the great news for everybody, and that was a bit of a surprise to me, I have to be honest, in that they're actually working backwards with this. Yet again, another great example of the company being fairer to the masses. They've taken out the one that's been hit. They've started with the bigger package and worked backwards, not from the smaller package working up. So all we've lost so far from threshold 1 is the diamond package roll up from 800 to 1.6 million, as John has explained. The other packages, because they are going to be affected at the next threshold, are not affected. So you can buy your gold package. You're still going to get double up. So if you have not yet done so, my advice is go ahead and get your packages because they are commissionable. Let's just look at the
Lee, I just want to labour that point again because you excellently put, because you know it is about helping the masses, and you know if you couldn't afford a 50, and let's face it, not everybody can afford a 50,000 diamond package. So the company have been extremely fair, and it is about making bringing in the masses and helping more people change their lives. It's absolutely spot on.
Yeah, it's just testament to what they do. So what does that mean? So if you bought a gold package, okay, well, John's clarified there's the price, $2,899 on the right-hand side. That's dollars. You are then going to effectively get 5,000 tokens. But again, you're going to buy this presumably before you let all of the thresholds get hit. They'll double up to 10,000 at the next threshold, which is 250 million tokens of sales. And we're assuming that, let's say that the tech coin, or as it will be when it goes public at the $500 million mark, is worth $5. Then those tokens are converted to coins. You have 10,000 coins at $5 each. Therefore, the value of what you hold at that point on the public exchange is $50,000 for your $2,899 purchase. If it goes to $20 when it goes public at $500 million, then of course you've got 10,000 tokens because they've doubled up at $20. Therefore, your value of what you hold at that time is $200,000 for $2,899 worth of purchase. And if you had a diamond package and you did it before that first threshold was hit at 125 million, you'd have 1.6 million. And let's say that the coins were worth $5, then you've actually got an $8 million return for your $58,000 purchase. Not bad at all. As far as commissions are concerned, do remember, and a lot of people I don't think get this, look at the commissions that are payable on the gold, ruby, emerald, and diamond, not only on line one. If you have a team member that's directly linked to you that purchases a diamond package now, and I know I've got 3 or 4 people in my team, they've all pulled together to look to buy these. And Sarah's done a fantastic job of assisting many of them and getting that tied up legally. But you're going to get paid 18%. That's nearly $10,000 when somebody buys a diamond package. Is that worth you spending 10 or 15 minutes with those individuals to explain exactly what's in front of them and show them this presentation about what's coming with the money exchange and all the other technology that sits behind it? And look what it pays going down to level 8, 5%. So anybody below those that are buying a diamond package is still getting 5%, which is a very significant sum indeed. Company incentives. Well, it still rolls on. And I have to say, John, I got a real boost over the Christmas period because my packages went through sort of 6,000 and so on. And for the first time, I managed to hit my 5,000 car bonus, which was lovely to receive. And let me just tell you, it really is a massive bonus. You don't even need to purchase a car or proof that you've purchased a car. Once you've got to 2,000 Bitcoin packages, and I know there are many, many of my team that have got there, and I know yours as well, John, the company pay you in your back office on the first of the month, 800 euros every month for the life of your account. If you get to 5,000 Bitcoin packages or beyond, then they double it. They pay you 1,600 euros. You're actually paid in Bitcoin directly into your back office, and let me tell you, it's a lovely thing to see. That's a mortgage payment. That covers so many things.
As Lee said, you do not need to spend it on a car, but if you've seen Lee's car, he needs to spend it on a car. You need to get rid of that Robin Reliant, mate, I tell you.
I like 3 wheels, John. It just makes me feel on the edge. Let's talk about incentives. John, why don't you pick us up on the Dominican Republic?
Yeah, so obviously originally the incentive was going to be for a trip to Hawaii, but they couldn't get a big enough place at such short notice, so they moved it to the Dominican Republic. It's going to be in June, I'm led to believe. I'm still waiting for confirmation of that date. I've seen some posts up on Facebook, but I haven't had anything official, so I'm not going to say what the date is, but I have been told it is in June. And the actual how you can actually achieve that incentive is going to be out very, very shortly as well. So what the guidelines are for you to get your place. And let me tell you, I was very lucky enough to go on the last incentive, which was in Mallorca. We had a sensational time out there, no expense spared, an absolute wonderful trip, and to spend quality time, not only with the corporate team, but with like-minded people who come from all different walks of life. I mean, there's Hayden, you know, you want to listen to his story. Just so many different stories and people from different walks of life achieving great things with this company. So watch out for that. That's going to come out very, very soon. I'm thinking that might even be out next week, I'm led to believe. So watch out for that. I'm going to get an update on Friday. We have got a call with corporate on Friday, as Lee mentioned earlier on. So I'll have some more detail on that for you next week. And then, you know, other events that are coming up. There's the Munich event that is coming up. I'm going to get some more detail on that, exactly what they're going to be going through. It's going to probably be, I would imagine, very tech coin driven. Waiting for the dates on the Munich event, and then in Asia, in the Philippines, that's going to be announced very shortly as well. I'm expecting dates and venues on that over the next certainly fortnight, so we'll be sharing that with you as well. But these incentive trips, Lee, they're certainly worth getting your team focused on and really pushing for them, because they're great.
Yeah, well, I will be getting, as soon as we've got all of the clarification out, I'll be getting everybody in my team focused, because these are going to be easy to achieve. You know, a little bit of hard work, a little bit of sharing. I'm looking forward very much. I didn't manage to get to Mallorca, but looking very much to be in Dominican Republic. We'll be doing a lot of filming there, because I think those sort of testimonies of talking to people that have changed their lives, it's not a cliche. This is what is happening. I mentioned pre-Christmas I'm retiring because I'm getting old, but I'm retiring end of Feb, beginning of March. We're just winding down our business here. That is courtesy of USI Tech, nothing else. I would not have been able to do this had I not been involved with this company. Such is the life-changing structure.
And trust me, guys, Lee is getting old. And Lee, if obviously when you're at the Dominican, you know, last time I saw you on a beach, please do not bring your budgie smugglers.
Well, you see that chair at the top on the right-hand side there, John, the little white one. I've already got my towel on there. The horse told me that that's what apparently you have to do, get down very early and put a towel down. So you've got your chair. So I've already had somebody do that for me. Put a towel, a book, and my budgie smugglers will be just underneath. So, but thank you for that, John.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it. I'm just going to touch on sales funnels, guys. Trying to finish on a positive, which maybe I'll let John do, but we're going to run the sales funnels that we've put in place. We had a green light from corporate. That doesn't mean to say that it's been formally approved or anything like that, but they took a very close look at everything that we've done. Let me tell you, the sales funnels have caused us a massive amount of work, many frustrations, because we're doing them free for the majority of, well, we are doing them free for my entire team and downline. We opened it up to other people outside of our team at a small cost to cover the development cost of building it. As always with these things, John, you can't keep everybody happy all the time, and they've had ridiculous things of people wanting to change things and do this and do that. So I've made a decision that we're going to run them for 2 more weeks, another 14 days. So as of the 17th of January, we're going to suspend them. That could be short-term or long-term. So if you wish to have a sales funnel, please, you'll see in our Facebook group, the post will be back at the top of the group as of the end of this hangout, where you can actually go to register for one of those, and we'll get them done. But after the 17th of January, we're going to suspend them and then just take a review on them going forward. So we've had people working round the clock in order to get these out. We've done hundreds of them. But we did it really as a gesture for our team and to enable everybody to grow their own business. But I think, as always with these things, without starting to get too negative, which I don't wish to do, sometimes it's impossible to keep everybody happy all of the time. and I want to be there to really be spending time, as John and Grant do, in supporting our team going forward, putting on live events around the US and in Hawaii and various other locations, Cuba and Costa Rica and so on. So we're going to be spending a lot more time doing that. So just be aware that as of the 17th of January, we will not be building any more short term, but we will update you going forward. John, are there any parting words that you would like to add?
The only thing I would like to add, Lee, is obviously, and you touched on it there about the events. I mean, we're currently doing, I think we're up to about 16, 18 events every fortnight in the UK, regular events. That's going to be taken up to 30 events every fortnight. So, you know, they're going to be posted on the events page over the next 2 or 3 weeks. We're just getting people trained up because we want that uniform message out there. Tickets on Eventbrite, please, you know, try and book your tickets early, because the venues that we've currently got, especially this time of year, we've got people literally queuing out the doors at some of these events. You know, I think everybody, they make their New Year's resolutions, or they've been sitting on the fence. They then want to bring people along as well, and these meetings do swell. Okay, so get on Eventbrite, book your tickets, because the people, we're not saying we're going to turn people away at the door, but those people that have got tickets through Eventbrite will obviously be given first seating, if you like. But they are going to be incredibly busy, certainly in January and February for the rest of the year as well. But certainly in January and February, these meetings do swell. So book the tickets on Eventbrite. We've got some of our team going out to Canada. I can't actually make that in February. We're going to put some dates up on that. There's going to be an event in Poland at the end of January, which I've been asked to go along to. So we're going to let you know on that. If you've got any teams out there, details of that will be coming. And South Africa. We're also looking at Argentina and maybe 1 or 2 other countries. So we'll keep you posted on those. But, you know, it's 2018. We've had a fantastic 2017. 2018 is certainly going to be the year with the crypto in general. And looking at the company, as I said at the Christmas do, we are in at the right time, okay, in the right place with the right company. And you know, if you're looking at this for the first time, get back to the person that invited you on the call, get signed up, buy a few packs, and just you know, test the water. And get yourself along to one of the meetings.
Before we get you to click the button at the bottom, yeah, couldn't have put it better, John, myself. I forgot to mention Brighton, UK event on top of what John does every 2 weeks. We've got a very big event at Brighton Hove Albion Stadium. That is the 15th of February. Capacity is 500 people. Tickets are selling like hotcakes. We've got a lot of marketing. The marketing went live this morning on Facebook events, driving people. I can see the ticket sales coming through already. So do not delay if you want to go to those. There are paid for tickets for existing members. Non-members are free of charge. We have 500 capacity. But that's going to be a hell of an event there. That's on the 15th of February at the Amex Stadium, one of the FIFA-ranked Premiership stadiums. So that'll be something to get into. So even if you're anywhere in the UK, that will be accessible for you to get to. Looking forward to meeting up with everybody. I'm flying in. I know John is going to be there with Grant and many others. We're waiting to hear some corporate support for the event there. And we hope that there's going to be some very exciting news that we'll be able to bring to you from that event on the 15th of Feb. That's it from me. It's great to be back for 2018. I'm going to stop sharing my screen briefly. If I can just drop this down to the bottom. It's held up remarkably well today as far as the glitches are concerned. Thank you to everybody that is tuned in. We've got over 600 people here on YouTube. Now I'm back on the page, which is outstanding. If you've not yet joined, please, if you're watching this on a website and there's a button below you that says open and get started now, click that button. Join the person that obviously has invited you here. We update this, and we'll be back here same time next week. We hope to have some more information for you in what's going on as far as corporate updates and a little bit more meat on the bone. John, thank you for all the information you brought to everybody today. And I hope you'll be back here next week.
I will indeed, Lee. I will indeed. Do not keep going on about my missed holiday. I will definitely be here next week.
I'll think about it. Until then, everybody, same time next week, 12 noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern time, 8 p.m. in UK, 9 in Europe. We look forward to chatting with you then. Take care until then, and get on with it. Purchase some Bitcoin.